In a moment few Britons ever imagined, the United Kingdom woke up to a shocking political reality. Nigel Farage, leader of Reform UK, has officially become Prime Minister. The man long dismissed as a provocateur or just a man of slogans now stands at the very heart of British power. But how did we get here? And how did he manage to overthrow the Labour government? Before we dive into the details, here's a small but important reminder. Did you know that over 95% of our viewers aren't subscribed to the channel? We totally get it. Life gets busy and sometimes it's easy to forget. But here's the thing, subscribing is completely free, and it really helps us keep creating the content you enjoy. So why not hit that subscribe button and join our community? It only takes a second, but it makes a world of difference to us. Thank you for your support. This political earthquake came just 3 years after Keir Starmer's historic 2024 election victory, which ended 14 years of Conservative rule. Starmer entered Downing Street with grand promises: reform, stability, and rebuilding public services. But over time, hope faded. The NHS remained in crisis, immigration stayed high, and the economy stumbled. Into this vacuum stepped Nigel Farage, once again. After years of media appearances and fiery soundbites, he decided it was time to stop criticizing from the sidelines. When Starmer called for a snap general election in spring 2027, thinking his support was still strong, Farage pounced. And the result? A political earthquake. Reform UK stormed through former Labour strongholds in the North, Midlands, and disillusioned suburbs. Fueled by a populist wave, a disillusioned middle class, and massive media momentum, Farage swept into number 10 with a commanding majority. On his first day as Prime Minister, he declared, "Britain is back in the hands of the British." A bold slogan, but what does it actually mean in practice? Farage now faces a battlefield. First, Parliament. Despite his majority, the House of Lords could slow or block legislation. Then there's the divided public. Protests erupted across London and Scotland within hours of the election. Financial markets didn't wait to react. The pound dropped, investors panicked, and European leaders issued warnings. The EU expressed deep concern and hinted that trade agreements could be reconsidered. Will he deliver on his promises? This is the question haunting Britain now. Between the fiery promises and the cold reality of government, can Farage truly deliver? His first promise: drastically reduce immigration. Legally, this is possible: tougher rules, point-based systems, stricter borders. But the economic impact could be severe. Britain depends on migrant labour for vital sectors like healthcare, construction, and social care. Cutting numbers drastically could lead to workforce shortages, soaring costs, and systemic collapse in public services. Next, abolishing all remaining EU-derived laws. Sounds good in speeches, but in reality, these laws are deeply embedded in UK governance. Removing them would take years of legal revisions and could destabilise trade and business regulations, potentially harming the very economy Farage wants to revive. Then there's the tax cuts. Farage promised relief for the squeezed middle class. In theory, it's possible through budget restructuring. But with a massive public deficit and soaring national debt, such cuts may force reductions in essential spending or increase borrowing, risking a financial spiral. Now the most delicate issue, the NHS. Farage vowed to end waiting lists and overhaul the system. But the NHS crisis is not just about money, it's about staffing, infrastructure decay, and overwhelming demand. A full recovery would require massive investment, possibly even partial privatization, a move that would trigger public outrage and fierce political battles. Finally, the most controversial pledge: British first policies in housing, education, and jobs. This appeals to nationalist sentiment but directly clashes with human rights laws and anti-discrimination principles. Any attempt to implement such policies would face fierce legal challenges and spark domestic and international backlash. Nigel Farage is now in power. That's no longer a hypothetical. But whether he will succeed or survive the harsh reality of governing remains to be seen. Will Britain be reborn under his leadership or plunge into deeper division? Let us know what you think in the comments. Are you with Farage? Do you believe Britain needs a shock like this to change? And don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth political analysis and untold stories from behind the doors of Downing Street. We'll see you in the next episode of Echo Britain.